God says this is for you, only you. Archangel Michael is crying loudly because you have ignored what must be seen and heard. This is not a story. This is not a vision from a dream. This is real, and it is happening right now. There is a voice calling from the other side. A voice that trembles with urgency, and Michael himself is pleading with you. He says, I order you to open this message now. I am crying because you do not listen. The truth is too important, too powerful, too immediate to wait any longer. Do not delay. Take a deep breath and listen to every word as if your very life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. God's presence is around you, surrounding you, protecting you. Even when you feel the weight of doubt or fear pressing down on your spirit, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are protected, but you must trust God and pray. You must open yourself to the guidance being sent to you this moment. God says there is a person, someone close enough to you that you feel the presence of their gaze even when they are far away. And yet there are secrets being kept. Secrets that touch you, your life, your body, your very essence. This person has spoken about you, and the words they have spoken are not ordinary. They are sharp, cutting and focused on the details of your teeth, your smile, the things you never thought anyone noticed. It may seem trivial to you. But Michael cries because even these details are being twisted, misrepresented, and used to affect your life. What has been said about you is shocking. Yes, shocking enough that if you remain unaware, it could influence decisions, relationships, opportunities, and even the energy that surrounds you. God says this is about you, not anyone else, not a distant event, not a story about someone else's life. This is your life, your truth, your protection. Archangel Michael says, do not delay. I am crying loudly. I am shaking with the weight of this message because if you do not listen, if you do not open this, the consequences will ripple into parts of your life that you cannot yet see. Michael is the protector of truth, the warrior of light, and he is asking you with urgency that you open yourself to this moment, to this revelation. There is no time for hesitation. The words spoken about you are not only a reflection of how others see you, but also an attack on your spirit, your confidence, your sense of self. These words were meant to unsettle you, to create doubt, to make you question your worth, your presence, your smile, your very identity. But God is with you, and Michael is here, crying, pleading, urging you to recognize the hidden forces and the spoken words that aim to distort your truth. God says trust is your shield. Prayer is your sword. When you open your heart to this moment, when you embrace the urgency and the gravity of what is being revealed, a protective light will surround you. It will shield you from manipulation, from gossip, from hidden intentions that you cannot yet see. You are not alone. God is with you. Michael is at your side, wings extended, tears streaming, crying because you have delayed too long in acknowledging this and confronting the reality that is pressing against your life. The person who spoke about you, who focused on your teeth, who whispered in ways meant to harm, they cannot touch you when you stand in the protection that God provides. Michael says you must act now. This is not a trivial matter. The details matter. Every word matters. Every conversation, every whisper, every hidden glance has energy that can influence your life. I am crying because I see what is coming. And if you delay, you may not realize the impact until it is too late. God says, open your heart. Open your mind. Open your awareness. The spiritual forces are at play, unseen yet powerful. The words spoken about you are a mixture of envy, ignorance, and intention. And they are meant to create disturbance. But you are not meant to fall. You are meant to rise to recognize the manipulation, to shine in the light that God gives. God says, do not fear. Fear is what those who wish you harm want to plant in your soul. They have spoken words to unsettle you, to shake your sense of self, to cast shadows over your confidence. But the truth is stronger. Michael's tears are a reminder that you are loved, that protection surrounds you, that God's plan is unwavering and perfect. Even when you feel exposed or uncertain, you are safe. You are guided. And you are being shielded from the subtle energies that aim to create confusion. This is urgent. This is immediate. This is divine. Open your heart and your awareness to the reality of what is being revealed. God says you have a right to know. You have a right to feel safe. You have a right to recognize the hidden intentions and the distorted words. This person, the one who spoke about you and your teeth, did not know the strength of your spirit. They did not know the protection that surrounds you. But now you do, and it is time to stand in that protection, to recognize the divine hand that shields you from harm. To hear Michael's cries not as sadness, but as a warning, as a wake-up call, as a call to action. Michael says, I am crying because too many have ignored these signs. Too many have delayed, thinking that nothing matters. Thinking that words cannot harm. But words carry energy. Words carry intent. And when those words are meant to unsettle you, to manipulate perception, to distort reality, you must be aware. You must open yourself. You must trust God. And God says, do not doubt this. Do not delay. Every moment you wait is a moment in which confusion can grow. But awareness clears the path. Awareness protects your soul. Awareness strengthens your spirit. God says the power of prayer is immense. Call on Michael. Call on your angels. Call on the forces of light. When you pray, when you focus your mind, when you open your heart fully to the protection of God, you create an impenetrable shield against those who wish to speak ill, to manipulate, or to harm. Your teeth, your smile, your presence, all sacred parts of you are protected. No word spoken in ignorance or malice can penetrate the divine shield that surrounds you. Michael cries because he sees your hesitation, your delay, but he also sees the potential of your response. If you act now, if you open your heart and your mind fully, the protection strengthens. God says, open immediately. Do not look away. Do not brush this off. This is about your life, your spirit, your truth. The person who spoke about you, who whispered about your appearance, has created ripples in energy that could touch more than you think. Michael's tears are not sorrow alone. They are urgency. They are warning. They are love. He is the protector of your spirit. He is the voice that cannot be ignored. When he cries loudly, it is because the stakes are high, because the message cannot wait. Because divine intervention must meet your awareness. Now you are safe. You are loved. You are protected. But you must act. You must open this message. You must pray. You must focus on the divine light surrounding you. God says trust Him. Trust the protection, trust Michael's tears, for they are a reflection of the seriousness of this moment. The words spoken about you, the observations made about your teeth, the whispers meant to unsettle your confidence, they are not more powerful than the truth, your awareness, and the light that surrounds you. Archangel Michael says, do not ignore this. Open your heart fully. Listen fully. Be aware fully. I am crying because the world is full of distractions and those who seek to confuse you. I am crying because you are strong. But, even the strong must be guided. Open your awareness. Open your mind. Open your soul. What has been said is not the end of your story. It is a call to rise, a call to recognize, a call to protect yourself with divine wisdom. You are not alone. God is with you. I am with you. The forces of heaven surround you. Listen now before it is too late. God says everything spoken, everything hidden, everything whispered has a purpose. Now you are being guided to see, to understand, to act. The person who spoke about you did not realize the divine protection around you. They did not realize that their words meant to unsettle are powerless against the light that God has placed in your life. You are safe. You are protected. You are loved. But you must open. You must act. You must recognize the urgency. God says, hear me now because this message is not for anyone else. This message is meant only for you and it carries urgency that cannot be ignored. Archangel Michael is crying loudly because you have been hesitant, because you have been distracted, because you have not listened, and because time is pressing. He stands before you shining with his heavenly armor, wings wide, eyes filled with tears of fire and light. He is crying because he knows what is coming if you delay. If you ignore, if you do not open this now, he says, I order you to open this now. I will not be silenced. And the voice from the heavens demands that you listen. This is about you, not about anyone else, not about the people around you, not about those who seem harmless, not about those who smile in your presence. This is about your life, your future, your heart, your soul. There is a person who has been speaking, whispering, revealing things that are dangerous, things that are shocking, things that concern you deeply. They have been talking about you, your presence, your essence, the way you smile, the way you speak, the way you exist. They have even gone so far as to speak about your teeth. Something so personal, something so intimate, something that belongs to you alone. And the truth they carry, the truth they have tried to hide is shocking. You were never meant to hear this in silence. You were never meant to stay unaware. God is revealing it now because it is urgent. Because the moment has come when truth can no longer wait, and because Archangel Michael will not allow deceit to continue in the shadows. Do not delay. Do not hesitate. Open your eyes. Open your heart. Open your spirit. Open this message. The act of opening it is itself an act of faith. It is an act of obedience to the divine order. Archangel Michael is crying because he loves you. Because he has watched over you since the moment you were born. Because he knows the dangers, the plots, the hidden whispers that have surrounded you. And now finally the veil is lifting. You are being given the chance to see clearly, to act swiftly, to protect yourself, to claim the safety, the clarity, and the peace that God has promised you. There is nothing for you to fear, but there is everything for you to act upon. The situation that involves your teeth, this person, the whispers, the secrets, it is not trivial. It is not gossip. It is not mere curiosity. It is a matter that touches your dignity, your physical and spiritual well-being, and the integrity of your life. This person thought they could speak freely without consequence, but God says no. God says the time for silence is over. God says the time for exposure is now. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, sword in hand, crying, trembling with urgency, demanding that you take this seriously. Trust in God. Trust in the process. Trust in the divine protection that surrounds you like an unbreakable shield. Nothing will go wrong with you if you remain steadfast in faith. Nothing can harm you because God has decreed that your life, your path, and your spirit are protected. You are safe. You are chosen. You are noticed. You are not abandoned. Even when the world seems silent, even when the people around you pretend ignorance, even when deceit attempts to sneak in through whispers, your guardian, angels led by Michael himself are with you. They are weeping not out of weakness but out of fierce love and determination to protect you. Now listen carefully because the details are critical. This person whose name is being revealed to you in spirit has spoken in ways that are calculated, that are manipulative, that are designed to undermine your confidence and to tarnish what is sacred in you. They have not only discussed your physical appearance, but have attached to it thoughts, judgments, and intentions that are harmful. The teeth that God created for you that are part of your divine design have become a symbol in their words, a tool in their narrative to mock, belittle, or control. This is not an ordinary circumstance. God does not bring such things to your attention lightly. God does this because your life, your dignity, and your divine journey are worth protecting. And Archangel Michael, weeping with urgency, cannot stress enough. You must open your eyes, receive this knowledge, and act with divine wisdom. Do not be angry at yourself for hearing this. Do not despair. Do not fall into fear. Instead, rise. Rise with the strength that comes from God. Rise with the courage that comes from knowing you are not alone. Rise with the clarity that comes from understanding that the truth, no matter how shocking, is a gift that protects you. This is a pivotal moment. One moment of hesitation could allow confusion, deception, or harm to linger. One moment of obedience could clear the path, restore your dignity, and bring about divine resolution. Archangel Michael is crying. Yes. But he is also commanding. He is commanding action, attention, and faith. He says, open your eyes. Open your ears. Open your heart. Open this message. Do not ignore the call. This is not a suggestion. This is not a gentle nudge. This is a divine order, a heavenly mandate, a protective command issued directly to you. He weeps not for despair but for the intensity of the urgency. He weeps because time is short. He weeps because God is revealing what has long been hidden. And if you do not act now, the opportunity to see clearly may be lost. The person who spoke about you, about your teeth, about your private sacred self. Know this. Their influence over the situation is ending. Their power to deceive, to manipulate, to obscure the truth is being dissolved by God's light. The moment of revelation is now. You are being positioned at the center of this light. The shadows that tried to wrap around you, that tried to hide the truth, are fleeing. What seemed secret is now exposed. What seemed hidden is now visible. What seemed threatening is now under divine protection. You must pray. You must trust. You must act. Speak to God. And speak to Archangel Michael. Call on the heavenly forces that have always watched over you. Ask for guidance. Ask for protection. Ask for clarity. Let your prayers rise like a flame. Like a beacon, like a call to heaven that nothing can diminish. Know that God hears you. Know that Michael stands with you. Know that your safety, your dignity, and your divine journey are intact. This is your moment of awakening. This is your moment of obedience. This is your moment of clarity. Do not delay. Open it now. Open your heart, your mind, and your awareness. Accept the guidance, the protection, the revelation that God is sending. Nothing will harm you. Nothing can touch the divine promise that surrounds you. You are safe. You are loved. You are chosen. You are guided. If you believe in God, type Amen. God says this message is only for you and it carries the weight of heaven itself. Archangel Michael is standing by your side right now, weeping loudly, tears streaming from his eyes because you have not listened. This is not a casual warning. This is not a story. This is not imagination. This is reality. And Michael is crying because he cannot bear to see you unaware of the truths that surround you. He commands you to open this message fully, to absorb it completely. Because what is coming is directly connected to you, your life, your safety, your reputation, and the spiritual battles you are unknowingly entangled in. There is a person who has been talking about you, a person who has been spreading things that are both shocking and deliberate, designed to unsettle you. This is not merely gossip. This is not idle chatter. They spoke specifically about you and your teeth in a way that is unnatural, in a way that seeks to manipulate, shame, and distract you. The details they revealed were meant to harm you, to take what God has blessed in your life and turn it into a source of embarrassment, weakness, or vulnerability. But God sees it all and He is not silent. He is speaking through me now. He is sending this urgent direct message because you need to understand the gravity of what is happening. Archangel Michael is weeping because the time to act is now. Every second you delay, every moment you hesitate, the spiritual forces aligned against you are gaining ground. Michael is screaming, pleading with you to open your spiritual eyes, to trust in God's protection, to recognize that you are safe under His wing if you choose to obey His instructions. You cannot afford to ignore this. This is not a metaphor. This is not a story for someone else. This is about you right now. God is telling you that this person's actions are not random. They have been carefully orchestrated and they believe they can cause shame, discomfort, or even fear in your life. They have chosen to focus on something personal, something intimate, something you may have thought was private. But nothing is private from God. Nothing is hidden from Him, every word spoken, every action taken in secrecy. Every thought plotted in shadow is known to Him. He is aware of it. He is present and He is protecting you. He is shielding you from the full force of what could have been and He is preparing you to rise above it. You must understand God is commanding you to pray, to trust, to align yourself with His will fully. Your safety is guaranteed not by your own power but by your obedience and faith in Him. When Michael cries, it is not only sorrow. It is urgency. It is love. It is a divine call for immediate attention. You are being summoned to awaken, to recognize that the forces of light are with you, but they require your cooperation. Do not ignore this message, for the consequences of ignoring divine warning are severe. This is not a game. This is not exaggeration. Michael is crying loudly as if the sound of his tears could pierce through the barriers that exist in the physical world and reach the deepest corners of your heart. Listen to his voice. Hear the urgency in every word. Feel the weight of every moment that passes. This person who spoke about you did not act out of ignorance. They acted with intent. They intended to strike at something deeply personal. But God is stronger than their intent. God sees your life. God sees your heart. And He is moving to protect you. His angels are surrounding you. Even as you read this, His light is stronger than the darkness that seeks to touch you. The words spoken against you are powerless because they cannot penetrate the shield that God places around you. Trust in God. Trust in His plan. Trust that every whisper against you is being turned into fuel for your ultimate triumph. You are safe. You are protected. And you are deeply loved. Michael is crying because he wants you to feel the depth of divine love, the intensity of divine protection, and the immediacy of this situation. The tears you feel are not sorrow for you. They are sorrow because you have not fully recognized your own power when aligned with God. You are about to witness the unraveling of what has been hidden. God says the truth will come to light and it will be astonishing. You will see how the plans of this person who dared to speak about you in ways that are intrusive and shocking are futile. God is exposing every hidden intention, revealing every secret thought and preparing the way for. Do not ignore this. This is a serious warning. This is a revelation that has been hidden for too long. Heaven has seen the plots, the contracts, the quiet meetings behind closed doors, the whispers exchanged in hushed voices. When they thought you were nowhere near, when they thought you would never find out. Archangel Michael has been standing guard and he has witnessed the files being drawn up, the papers being collected, the testimonies being prepared, and the names being signed in secret. They thought they were clever. They thought you would remain blind. They thought you would never know, but God says enough. The truth must be brought to you now. The weight of this message is heavy because it involves betrayal. It involves exposure. It involves the realization that people you thought you could trust have been connected to this all along. Archangel Michael says this is very serious. Not because the law is above you, but because people are trying to use the law as a weapon against you. They have hired one of the most powerful legal teams. The kind of team that does not move unless large sums of money are placed into their hands. That means someone is financing this. Someone with resources, someone with determination, someone who wants to see you silenced, trapped, or ruined. But God says, wait before you fear, before you panic, before you let your heart sink into despair, you must see who is behind it. The exposure will shock you because it is not who you think. My child, God whispers, I have been watching as you have cried in silence. As you have wondered why strange delays and barriers have been appearing around you, as you have noticed unexplained issues with your finances, your opportunities, even your reputation. You thought maybe it was random. Maybe it was your fault. Maybe it was just bad timing. But no, it was not random. There is a plan behind it. Someone who carries jealousy in their heart, someone who carries bitterness like poison has gone further than you can imagine. They have gathered documents. They have twisted facts. They have painted pictures to make you appear guilty or weak. And they have fed all of this to a team of lawyers whose job is to destroy reputations. But listen, God says, the heavens are not asleep. Your angels have not abandoned you. Archangel Michael has been tracking every move and he has written their names in the heavenly book of exposure. He is warning you now because you still have time to stand strong, to prepare yourself, to pray for divine intervention, and to trust that what was meant for your harm will turn into something that elevates you higher than you have ever been before. This is not a normal attack. This is strategic. They are not fighting with fists. They are fighting with papers, with legal threats, with signatures and seals. They are trying to intimidate you, to corner you, to make you feel powerless. But God says, do not be deceived. Even the highest human legal authority is beneath divine authority. They may have their contracts and their lawyers, but you have the courts of heaven standing with you. And the judge of all creation is on your side. Michael is crying out because he has seen how much energy has been poured into this plot. He has seen meetings late into the night. Voices speaking your name with hatred, strategies being drawn against you. He has seen a woman at the center of this. Yes, a woman who pretends to smile at you. A woman who acts as though she is harmless. A woman who has been speaking softly to others about you while hiding venom in her purse. She has been funneling money into this legal team. She has been using connections. She has been using influence. And she has been hiding the truth about her own actions while pushing blame onto you. Finally, God is exposing her. You will see who she is. You will see the documents she has signed. You will see the lies she has spread. You will see the evidence of her schemes. And when it comes into the open, the very team that was hired to investigate you will turn their attention to her because her actions will not withstand the light of truth. But God says, prepare yourself because before the exposure, there will be pressure. There will be days when you feel like everything is crashing down. When the weight of accusations feels unbearable. When the silence from those you thought would support you feels cruel. Do not lose faith. Do not stop praying. Do not stop trusting. This is the test before the victory. This is the storm before the rainbow. This is the trap that will fail because heaven is dismantling it piece by piece. God says, be careful with what you say. Be careful with what you sign. Be careful with what you share. Watch closely who asks you questions, who approaches you with concern. Who suddenly wants details of your life. Not everyone who smiles is your friend. Not everyone who offers help is genuine. Some of them are gathering information to twist it against you. But do not let fear rule your spirit. Let discernment guide you. Let prayer be your shield. Archangel Michael says, you must understand the seriousness of this because it is not only about your present, it is about your future. They are trying to cut off opportunities that heaven has already prepared for you. They are trying to stain your name so that blessings that are supposed to come to you would hesitate. But they cannot stop what God has written. Your name is etched in divine destiny and no contract, no lawyer, no courtroom can erase it. Heaven is fighting for you right now. The angels are standing in a circle around you. Michael has his sword drawn and he has already cut off several of their channels of influence. That is why some of their plans have already failed. Why some of their attempts to smear you have fallen flat, but Michael says, do not be passive. Stand with heaven. Pray with authority. Declare your innocence. Declare that God is your defender. Declare that every tongue rising against you in judgment will be silenced. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. God says, my child, this may make you cry, but you need to know the truth. Some of the people behind this investigation are not strangers. They are connected to your circle. They are connected to your past. One of them carries your blood. One of them has eaten at your table. One of them has laughed with you while secretly feeding information to your enemies. This will hurt, but this must be exposed. Betrayal is always painful, but exposure is always necessary for healing. Do not let your heart grow bitter. Do not let anger consume you. Understand that jealousy blinds people, greed controls people, and fear manipulates people. They were not strong enough to face you directly. So they used hidden channels, but God says every hidden thing will come to light. Every false accusation will collapse. Every trap will catch the one who said it. Archangel Michael says, you will hear news soon. News that will confirm everything being revealed here. It may come as a phone call, a letter, an unexpected conversation, or even a sudden message that shocks you. Do not panic when you hear it. Remember this message. Remember that God warned you. Remember that Michael already saw it. And remember that heaven is with you. This is not the end of you. This is the beginning of your greatest vindication. They thought they would break you, but instead they are pushing you into the spotlight where your truth will shine. They thought they would silence you, but instead they are giving you a platform where your voice will be louder than ever. They thought they would trap you, but instead they are exposing themselves. God says, do not ignore this. Pray. Stay alert. Watch. Trust. The investigation may be real, but so is divine intervention. The legal team may be powerful, but the heavenly court is higher. The woman may be cunning, but she cannot outwit the all-seeing eyes of God. The betrayal may be painful, but it will not be the end of your story. This is serious. This is urgent. This is unfolding now. But you are not alone. Heaven stands with you and your victory will be undeniable. My child, listen carefully because what I am about to tell you is not ordinary. It is not casual and it is not something to take lightly. Archangel Michael has come forward with urgency in his voice, with fire in his eyes, and with sorrow in his heart because you have ignored too many warnings before. This message is not just another passing thought. It is not just a sign you can delay. It is not something you can put aside for tomorrow. This is very serious and the words you are reading now carry the weight of heaven itself. You are being watched. You are being investigated and not by just anyone. A top legal team has set their eyes on you. But child, before your heart falls into fear, before you collapse under the weight of anxiety, God says, wait until you see who is truly behind it. For what is happening in the shadows is more shocking than you ever imagined. And the truth that is about to be exposed will shake you to the core, yet set you free in ways you could not have planned on your own. Archangel Michael stood before the throne of God and he cried out with urgency for you, pleading that you do not dismiss this message as you have dismissed others before. His sword glowed with light, his wings trembled, and he said, Father, your child is about to be deceived by legal traps, by hidden contracts, by false accusations, and by whispered lies in boardrooms and courtrooms. But I will not let them fall into this pit without sounding the alarm. I will not allow them to sleep while serpents coil around their name. I must warn them now. And so God permitted Michael to descend with this urgent message carrying the words you now see. Words that are burning into your spirit even as you read. You have been wondering why lately things feel heavy. Why there are strange delays. Why sudden questions arise about your work, your identity, your finances, and your name? You thought maybe it was bad luck. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe it was just a season of hardship. But God says no, it is not random. It is not accidental. There is an organized effort carefully structured set into motion by someone with more influence than you thought, and now they have involved a top legal team. But the truth you must hear today is that the one who thinks they are building a case against you is not working alone. They are being pushed, whispered to, even manipulated by someone you know. Someone who has smiled in your face. Someone who has acted like they care, but secretly they have betrayed you. This is why Michael says this is not normal. This is why he urges you not to take this lightly. Because if you do nothing, if you remain blind, their plans will tighten around you like chains, and you will cry out, wondering why nobody told you. But heaven is telling you now. God is exposing it in real time. The investigation is real, but the person behind it is the true serpent you must be aware of. And when you finally see who it is, you will break down in tears because you never thought they would be capable of this. There is a woman whose hands are not clean. She has spoken to men in hidden rooms. She has promised them something in exchange for destroying your credibility. She has acted as though she is far from you, but she is closer than you think. There is also a man who plays both sides, pretending to defend you, but secretly feeding information to this legal team so they can have a stronger case. God says, do not fear the lawyers. Fear the betrayers, for the lawyers are only weapons, but the betrayer is the hand holding the weapon. Michael is weeping because you have doubted too long. You kept asking yourself if these warnings were real, if these messages were simply imagination. But he says, do you not see how every time you ignore something strange happens? Do you not see the pattern? How heaven tries to reach you but you delay. If you delay now, it may be too late. This is why he says act. This is why he says pray. This is why he says, guard yourself with the sword of truth and shield of faith. God says, my child, the enemy thinks they are investigating you, but I am investigating them. They believe they are building a case against you, but they are exposing their own corruption. They think you will be the one to fall, but their own names will be dragged into the light. Heaven is laughing at their arrogance. But heaven also feels the sting of how close they came to trapping you. This is why you must not remain silent. You must pray with authority. You must call upon Michael. You must command that every secret document, every false testimony, every fabricated evidence be exposed before it is used against you. For God promises you will not be destroyed. But you must take this message seriously right now. Even as you read, there are meetings happening. They are reviewing your name. They are speaking about you. They are deciding what angle to take. But what they do not know is that God has already dispatched angels into their rooms. They do not see the glowing presence standing in the corners listening to their whispers, recording their words, waiting for the right moment to release exposure. For God says, I will not allow them to touch my child without consequences. I will turn their accusations into testimonies for my glory. I will make their plots collapse under their own weight. But my child must not walk blindly. My child must awaken. You are wondering who is funding this legal team because these are not small lawyers. These are not ordinary people. These are powerful ones, expensive ones, ones who do not waste time unless there is something big behind it. And God says it is someone with access to resources you did not know they had. Someone used money given in dishonor, money earned through deceit to hire them. That money carries a curse and soon it will backfire. But the key is you must not panic. You must not live in fear. You must live in awareness, in prayer, and in trust that heaven is already steps ahead of them. Michael showed me a vision. He stood with his sword blocking a courtroom door. He shouted, "They will not pass. They will not prevail unless my child ignores me. But if they listen now, I will stand guard. I will tear their papers in the spirit. I will silence their lies. I will bring confusion into their meetings. I will scatter their unity. I will make them turn against each other. But my child must believe. My child must act. My child must trust. This is not normal. You are not just dealing with people. You are dealing with spirits working through people. There are ancient spirits of accusation, spirits that thrive on false testimony, spirits that enter legal systems to trap God's chosen ones. These are the same spirits that accused Daniel, that accused Joseph, that accused Jesus himself. They never rest. They never stop. They always look for righteous ones to drag down. But God says, as I delivered Daniel from the lions, as I lifted Joseph from the prison, as I resurrected my son from the grave, so will I deliver you. Their accusations will not bury you. They will only lift you higher. Their investigation will not end you. It will end them. But my child, do not ignore this, for the time is short. There are exactly 2 people who have signed something with your name on it, pretending to act on your behalf, but in truth, they are selling you out. One of them is a woman connected to your past. The other is a man connected to your present. Neither of them expected heaven to reveal this. They thought their signatures would remain hidden. But God says, what is signed in secret, I will expose in public. What is sealed in darkness, I will unseal in light. This is why you must not ignore this message. For if you sit still, their lies will gain momentum. But if you rise now, heaven will crush it before it takes form. Michael is still pleading. He says, I will not stop fighting for you, but do not tie my hands with your unbelief. Do not silence my warnings with your delays. Do not make me weep because you refuse to listen one more time. His voice shakes as he speaks because he knows what is at stake. He knows that if you listen now you will be shielded, but if you dismiss this you will regret it deeply. And God says, do not be afraid, for you are safe in me. Nothing will go wrong with you as long as you trust me, pray to me, and believe me. I will not let you fall. I will not let you be destroyed. I will protect your name. I will vindicate your honor. I will turn this investigation into a divine revelation. They think they are studying you, but I am studying them. They think they are exposing you, but I am exposing them. They think they are building a case